Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all doing well. I am continuing on with the botanical theme in this video, and I am going to be putting some Pampas grass into epoxy resin, and I'm excited. I've got tiny little gorgeous sprigs. Wasn't sure how it was going to come out, but I was keeping my fingers crossed. Let's go. Now for this video I am using Vista Turbo resin. It is my absolute go-to at the moment. This resin cures in 5 hours and it allows you to layer up if you're doing layered pieces, and it's a dream to work with. So I am using these coasters. You would have seen these on my channel many times. They are linked below under the Moulds section in my Amazon storefront, but they are perfect size for coasters, especially if you want chunky coasters, like layered up coasters. The first thing I'm going to do is just lay a really thin, I want to say 2mm, 3mm layer of resin in the bottoms and hit them really hard with my heat gun. The best thing about these coasters, these silicone molds, is that they can handle the heat. Like, they really can handle heat. So I spent quite a long time getting rid of all of those bubbles. Now, I was so nervous for this part. This Pampas grass is my own. I actually got it from my neighbour. I asked her, last year she chopped it down and left it. So this year I kind of got in there quick and I was like, hey, you know how last year you didn't actually use your Pampas? Can I please have it this year? So she allowed me to go next door with my cutters, and yeah, together we just chopped the whole lot down. And I love it. So yeah, there you are. This was the nervous part for me. I wasn't entirely sure how the Pampas grass was going to react with the resin. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm sure there are videos out there already putting Pampas grass into resin, but I didn't look. I didn't Google, I didn't search. I just wanted to do it myself without watching to see if anyone had tried it before. I was sitting in my living room looking at Pampas grass thinking, you'd look good in resin. So the poor thing had the scissors taken to it, and here we are. I cut off 9 teeny little sprigs. I don't know the right word. And all I'm doing now is just placing them into that first layer of resin. Now, I wasn't sure if I wanted to let them do their own thing and just naturally settle into the resin. But then I realised I don't have, all the room in the world to play. I don't have all the room in the world. So I decided to get my lollipop stick and press them down. I decided I would press them down instead of just leaving them there. I would press them down. So here you see me using my lollipop stick to do that. And the air bubbles, oh my goodness me. And obviously that's fully expected. These are basically like really fluffy, they're almost like dandelions, but these have been sprayed with hairspray, because when you get Pampas grass to decorate your house with, the recommendations are to dry them out thoroughly and then spray them to within an inch of their life with hairspray. So these didn't just fall apart in my hands because they have been very well sprayed. I didn't want all that fluff all over my house. So I was also nervous about how the hairspray would react with the resin. But so far so good. I just went through all 3 of them, pushing them down with my lollipop stick. And then as soon as I'd finished doing that, I did actually use my heat gun again to give them all a really solid blast of hot air. Because you can see here, they're all kind of poking out of the top. I wasn't sure if that was all bubbles or whether it was the actual fluff from the grass poking out of the top. I wasn't sure. So yeah, I decided to go in anyway and give them all a blast of heat. I didn't spend too long. I spent longer actually heating the first layer of resin. I didn't spend too long on this because, yeah, I really haven't worked with Pampas before, so I wasn't sure what was going to happen. So here we are, next layer, and this is where the magic happens. Watch all of those bubbles disappear. Watch it as it goes. Incredible. They've all gone. And now I'm excited because now I can see all of the individual teeny tiny little bits. I wish I had a better word. Bits, fluffy bits. I can see all of the tiny, teeny little individual little bits. I don't know how else to say it, but you know what I'm trying to say, because as soon as this resin goes over that bumpy surface, all of those bumps disappear, and you can see air bubbles in that resin, but I do heat gun that out, and look at the detail. I don't know what I was worried about, to be honest. It's always nerve-wracking when you're trying something new for the first time. You're not sure how the item is going to react with the resin. I don't know. I think I expected like a Bucks Fizz style bubble party up in here, but it didn't happen. So I was so happy. Then I decided to layer it up the similar kind of way that I've been doing my trays in previous videos. Thanks for the love on those as well, by the way. I am still, head over heels in love. So I decided to put some leaves in. Now I'm putting loads of leaves in. At this point I want depth, texture, layers and interest. I want so much packed into these that every time you look at them you're seeing something different. That was the theme I was going for. At least that's what I'm telling myself. We all know I had no rhyme or reason as to why I was doing it, but I thought, you know, the more leaves the better, and I am now completely out of leaves. I used up the last few remaining, and again I just wanted to add depth and areas of interest for the eye to naturally navigate towards. So all I did after laying the leaves was press them down also. The reason I'm pressing them down really is to try and release air bubbles that may be underneath. So I just kind of take my time and go up and down the spine of each leaf and encourage the resin to come over the top of the leaf. And that was all. I was loving them at this point, but I was forever now. I actually, this is the one project in a long while where I've been nervous throughout, because I thought if it doesn't work, it's just going to ruin everything. But here you see, I didn't film this part. Don't know why. Sometimes I act very impulsively, and what I thought was going to, be the next day was about 5 minutes later. I ran upstairs and I put in some of those rose petals and some of the stones. So there you see, I just poured another layer on top to seal those rose petals in. And this is now late at night because I couldn't rest. I had to keep going, knowing that that layer of resin, it's been about 3 hours. It was now solid enough to take another layer. So here you see me using that chameleon powder. Now this chameleon powder is the same green that I used in the cling film technique. Look how different this is. And then I was worried because I didn't really want a gold background. I wanted green. So I thought I'd put it into the resin to see the difference between this result and the cling film technique result. And oh my goodness, look at this. It looks like a sunset in the background. But I have to tell you right now, that's not the look I was going for. That is not the look I was going for. I did feel at this point it was too light. I couldn't really see the Pampas Grass. The whole point was putting the Pampas Grass in. And whilst I love this, it reminds me of the forest floor. You know, all the mulch that you get on the forest floor when autumn has passed. Look at this now. I've put it against a black board. And that chameleon powder is now green. And I'm seeing it and I am loving it. It definitely adds depth and it allows you to see so much more that's going on in these coasters with that black background. So it really was at this point, I wasn't regretting my decision to put that chameleon powder in, but I was trying to work out how I'm going to get those backs now black. You know, it really makes all the difference in the world. So I did actually decide to paint them. Look at this, you can see the difference. Black background, non-black background, so different. I decided to paint the backs with black acrylic paint. I hope none of you are crying at home, but look at the difference it makes. It's such a difference. The one on the right is the vision I had. That's the vision I had. The one on the left, it wasn't doing it for me. It really wasn't. And I couldn't just leave them sitting. I had to change them up. So I did paint the backs and we'll continue that conversation after. Once I had painted the back and I saw the impact it made on everything in that coaster, I decided, okay, I need to keep going. I need to keep going. I'm going to make coasters that are totally 100% just Pampas Grass on its own as a standalone inclusion. Nothing else. So this is a quick look at me pouring resin on the back of those painted coasters, dragging it all the way to the edges, but we're not going to focus on this. I'm just showing you what I did in case that comes up in the comments. So here we are, 1 hour later. I knew that that Pampas Grass was well and truly set in there. I used exactly the same method as I did at the beginning of this video, and I gave them a black background because I wanted to see an impact. I wanted to see what it would look like, the contrast, and oh my goodness, check this out. Oh, yeah, I knew I'd made the right decision at this point. Check out the unbelievable, just check it out. I mean, I don't have the words. I only demolded about half an hour ago, guys, so I'm still, again, really excited and happy with the results. Look at every tiny little someone out there who's a botanist. Is that the right word? Yeah, botanist. Tell me the names for each individual bit of fluff on a Pampas Grass, because I can see every tiny, teeny detail in that Pampas Grass, and it is unbelievable. The difference between the two, let me know which one is your favourite. Is it the forest floor mulch that you get after autumn and everything has fallen off the trees and you get this big mess on the floor? Or is it this one, absolutely simple Pampas Grass on its own with a black background? Okay, look at the difference in these. My only worry is if you put your cup on the big fat coaster, it's just gonna fall straight off the side, but who cares? Do we care? No, we just have to be careful. And this one here, oh my gosh, I love. And the thing is, I don't know which one I love more. This one here just blows my mind because I'm hoping the camera can pick up every single teeny tiny little bit. I don't know the words. Fluff. All the fluff. It's got all the fluff. And this one, I loved the way this one here, the stem on the right hand side, comes up and over. You would have seen that in the video. I kind of laid it around. If I left it in the video, I might not have, because it was a long video to edit. But just look, I can't even describe when your eyes are seeing something that looks totally fluffy. It looks still so fluffy, like you could touch it and feel fluff. It's all captured in there, very much like a dandelion in resin, something I've never mastered. I can't seem to keep my dandelions in one piece to even attempt it. I think this would be an amazing alternative to the dandelion in resin, and oh my gosh, love, absolutely love. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know which one you prefer. I've already asked you, I know, 2 minutes ago, whether you prefer this one with the just simplicity of that black background, or whether you prefer all of it packed in like the mulch that you get on the forest floor. You're like, oh gosh, I love both. I love both equally. Oh my gosh, I love them so much. Okay, at this point, I am going to say thank you because I don't want to continue to get as hyper as I did in Monday's video. But yeah, let me know your thoughts at the depth on these. They actually remind me of, okay, I did say I was going to stop talking, but a little white lie. They remind me of puddles, you know, sometimes you're in the woods and you get like a muddy puddle, but it's not a muddy, it's clear, and it's got all of that debris, all of the forest debris at the bottom of the puddle. That's what these remind me of because of the stones as well. Okay, sidetracked. I am going to be finishing these off in self-adhesive cork. Now, the video you would have seen Monday, this was the results of the video Monday. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. One of my favourites to date. And I am going to be finishing them off with these self-adhesive cork. But I'm toying with the idea of top coating these coasters, something I'm not going to do in this video, but let me know. I just feel like if I could sand all of these coasters down for like a minute and then re-top coat them to give them a super glossy finish, I think it would bring them all to life. I'm not going to do that in this video just because this video is long already. But let me know if you think I should do that. I mean, I can film it if you'd like to see how I'm going to top coat these coasters, because they have got rounded edges. If you'd like to see that, let me know. I will make a separate video and I will 100% top coat all of these. I'm going to do it anyway. So if you want the video, let me know and I will put it online. Yeah. Oh, okay, breathe. Definitely time for a cup of tea again. I hope you've loved this one. Like I said at the beginning, I'm sure someone's done it, but I never checked because, you know, we can all have our own ideas and that's all good. Oh my gosh, I think I prefer these ones, but don't tell the other ones. Thank you so much for your support. If you've stayed this long, thank you. I will see you all in the next video, which will be Saturday. Saturday's video is a big one, guys. The biggest tray I have ever made in my life, let alone my YouTube career. And yeah, it is a collaboration with Wendy from Toonpish Crafts. We are both making epoxy resin trays using our Cricut because she got a Cricut. So can't wait till Saturday and I will see you then. Bye.